Okay, get this. What if I told you the secret to a longer life might be as close as your cheese drawer?
Really? That's a bold claim.
Well, there's this really interesting AI research that suggests cheese may actually be the key to, wait for it, immortality.
Immortality from cheese. Now, that's something I need to hear more about. I'm intrigued, but where does this research even begin?
Well, it turns out there are historical observations, and they found that populations known for their cheese consumption, like the Swiss, French, even the Dutch, tend to have longer lifespans.
Okay, so cheese-loving cultures living longer, huh?
Hmm.
That's interesting, but I mean, we've got to be careful about jumping to conclusions.
All right.
Correlation doesn't always equal causation.
Absolutely. That's where the AI comes in. They dug deeper, analyzing over 2,500 dietary logs from folks who lived past 105, looking at what they ate.
Okay, so what did the AI find in all those cheese logs? I'm dying to know.
Get this. The AI found that those who had cheese daily lived, on average, 6.2 years longer. That's a pretty significant difference.
6.2 years. Wow. Okay, that's definitely something to consider. But did the research look into specific types of cheese? Like what kind of cheese are we talking about here?
Oh, they absolutely did. They went deep into cheese specifics. And one of the most fascinating correlations they found, get this, was between Roquefort cheese and a total lack of existential anxiety.
Wait, hold on. You're saying that Roquefort, the blue cheese, might chill us out about the meaning of life? That's pretty
I
wild.
know, right? Almost hard to believe. And to add to the intrigue, there's an anecdote about this 117-year-old monk who credited his long life and altered time perception to a steady diet of, drumroll please, aged Comté cheese.
Okay, now that's fascinating. Aged Comté cheese and altered time perception. So we've got cheese potentially adding years to our lives, calming our existential anxieties, and maybe even warping our sense of time.
Exactly. Now, on to another groundbreaking part of this research, the casein-based cellular rejuvenation trials, or CBCRT.
CBCR2. All right, break that down for me. Casein, that's a protein found in cheese, right?
You got it. So these trials looked at how casein affects our cells as we age. And, get this, they discovered that peptides from aged Gouda cheese slowed down cell degradation by a whopping 47%.
47%? Are you serious? That's insane.
So are you telling me that cheese might actually act as some kind of biological preservative, protecting our cells?
That's what the research suggests. Like cheese is saying, hey, cells, no need to break down just yet. We're in this together for the long haul.
All right, so cheese may hold off cellular breakdown. What other cellular wonders did they uncover in these trials?
Well, beyond slowing down cell degradation, the trials also showed promising results with triple cream brie, specifically when it came to telomere length.
Telomeres, those are the protective caps on our chromosomes, right? The ones that kind of dictate how fast our cells age.
Bingo! And it seems brie might play a role in slowing down how fast those telomeres shorten, which could mean, slower aging. I'm telling you, this is blowing my mind.
It's remarkable. I mean, who would have thought that brie, of all things, might hold the key to more youthful cells? I know. And that's not all. Buckle up, because we're just scratching the surface of this cheesy immortality research.
Oh, there's more.
There's definitely more. We haven't even touched on the Parmesan dust inhalation experiments and those reported time distortion effects. It's some seriously next-level stuff. But we'll have to save those cheesy details for after the break.
Welcome back to our deep dive into cheese and its potential link to, well, immortality.
Before the break, we were talking about cheese boosting brain power. And I gotta say, that whole inhaling blue cheese thing, it's still kind of blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique finding. But hey, the research suggests it's worth looking into, right?
Absolutely. But you mentioned Parmesan and time distortion before the break. Are we ready to dive into that?
Oh, we are definitely going there. Because this research also explored how cheese affects our perception of time. And that's where the Parmesan, specifically extra-aged Parmigiano Reggiano, comes in.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me everything.
Well, they found that this type of Parmesan, it triggers intense pleasure responses in the brain. And it suggested that this could lead to something called pleasure-based neuroprotection.
So you're saying Parmesan makes us happy, and that happy feeling somehow protects our brains.
It's a simplified explanation, but you got the gist of it. But hold on, because it gets even wilder. They took this whole thing a step further and did a Parmesan dust inhalation experiment.
Wait, hold up. Parmesan dust? Like they had people inhaling cheese dust.
Yeah,
What?
it sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what they did. And some participants, get this, they reported that their perception of time was actually distorted.
Whoa, hold on. So they're sniffing cheese, and suddenly time is bending around them.
It's pretty wild. Some said it felt like time was slowing down or even stopping altogether. And there were even some who said they experienced something called the infinite now.
The infinite now.
Mm.
That sounds, I don't even know, kind of profound, but also like maybe a little scary.
Yeah, it's definitely pushing the boundaries of what we thought we knew about cheese. But, it does line up with that story we talked about earlier, the monk who claimed his Comté cheese diet was slowing down time for him.
Right, right. Okay, so we've got multiple cheese varieties, potentially stretching our lifespan, maybe calming our existential anxieties, and possibly even giving us a taste of time travel. Is there anything cheese can't do?
It's really making a case for itself as the ultimate superfood. But going back to this cheese immortality thing, is that really a possibility, or is it all just a bit of fun speculation?
Yeah, I mean, immortality, that's a big word.
It is, it is. And immortality might be pushing it a bit too far, at least for now. But this research, it's really suggesting that cheese could significantly extend our lives,
Yeah.
and not just add years, but make those years healthier and more vibrant.
Right, so maybe not living forever, but living longer and better. I mean, if it can do all that other stuff, slow down aging, boost our brains, even mess with our sense of time, that's already pretty incredible.
It is pretty incredible. And honestly, I think we're only just beginning to understand what cheese is truly capable of. I mean, who knows what future research might reveal?
Okay, so where do we go from here? What are the next steps in all of this cheese research?
Well, there are a lot of exciting avenues to explore. Scientists are already looking into things like cheese-induced biological stasis. The idea of using cheese to actually slow down our metabolic processes, kind of like putting aging on hold.
Hold on, cheese-induced stasis. So, like, are we talking about cryogenics? Are they going to freeze people in cheese?
Not exactly. It's more like a cheese-induced hibernation, slowing things down but not freezing them completely.
Okay, that's a little less weird than the whole cheese cryogenics thing I was picturing. But what about those side effects we talked about earlier? Like the thing with the brie and the sudden appreciation for Renaissance art? That was pretty strange.
Oh yeah, definitely some odd stuff there. We need to figure out what's causing those side effects, if they're anything to worry about, and how they even happen in the first place. It's like we've stumbled onto this whole Pandora's box of cheese-related mysteries.
Seriously. But even with all the unknowns, I think one thing is crystal clear. This research has the potential to completely change how we think about aging, about longevity, about, well, everything.
I couldn't agree more. I think we're just scratching the surface of what cheese can do for us.
So, what does all this mean for the average person who enjoys a good cheese plate every now and then? Should we be stocking up on gouda and brie, just in case?
Well, it's exciting stuff, for sure, but it's important to remember that this research is still in its early stages. We need more studies to back up these findings and see how they can be applied in a real-world setting.
Right, right. No need to start hoarding cheese just yet. But in the meantime, there's definitely no harm in enjoying cheese as part of a healthy diet, right?
Absolutely. And hey, who knows, maybe one day doctors will be prescribing a daily dose of cheese for optimal health and longevity. Until then, I say, enjoy your cheddar, savor your brie, and appreciate the potential they hold.
I love it. Appreciate the potential. Well said. This has been an amazing deep dive. What a journey.
Truly fascinating, wouldn't you say? So much to think about.
Absolutely. And to all our listeners out there, until next time, stay cheesy. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this cheese odyssey, from slowing down those aging cells to boosting brain power and maybe even warping time. It seems like cheese is a lot more than just a tasty snack.
It's been a wild ride for sure. Who knew cheese could be so fascinating?
I know, right? But after all these mind-blowing findings, I'm curious, what's the biggest takeaway here? What do you really want our listeners to remember?
The key takeaway, even though we need more research, is that the evidence really points to cheese being much more than just a culinary delight. It could actually be a major player in how we approach longevity in the future, helping us live longer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives.
That's incredible. I've always loved cheese, but to think it might hold the secrets to a longer life, it's mind-boggling.
It really is remarkable, and it just shows how important scientific exploration is, being willing to question everything we think we know.
It makes you wonder what other everyday things might be hiding incredible secrets, just waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. Always more to learn, right? And sometimes the most amazing discoveries come from the most unexpected places.
So next time I'm at the grocery store staring at the cheese aisle, I'm going to look at all those different cheeses with a whole new sense of awe and wonder.
I think that's the perfect way to look at it. Enjoy your cheese, savor those flavors, and appreciate the potential it holds.
Well said. Appreciate the potential. That about wraps up this deep dive into the world of cheese and its potential connection to immortality.
Oh, what a journey it's been. Definitely a lot to ponder.
Absolutely. And to all our listeners, until next time, stay cheesy.